report.
You can make the argument Jordan Hicks has been better than Logan Webb this year for a variety of metrics, right? A variety of metrics that you use to measure and quantify how someone is pitched. ERA, whip, things like that. The reason why Logan Webb is so beloved in that clubhouse and why he brings so much value to your team is, you know, when you hand that guy the ball, I don't need as many of my bullpen guys on a given day, and it's going to take stress off the rest of the team, not just for the day you pitch, but the day after and the day after that, all right? And that's part of being in a staff. That's part of going through the grind of a long season. I think Jordan Hicks right now on this team with Blake Snell, MIA, he's the 2. It's clear. It's very clear. And he's been really, really, really good. But there are certain days, and yesterday was one of them, where I'm like, hey, man, it's a 1-0 game. You've thrown 85 pitches, and I don't know whose decision this is, but it's like, I need you to go a couple more innings, or I at least need you to go back out there. Like, how many times in high school, college, whatever, pros, where you go, hey, you got one more in you? You got one, like, I'm going to try to ride you a little bit longer. It didn't feel like, to me, like he wanted to go longer. Now, I understand.
Well, I don't know about that. He spoke about that after the game. We're going to effort that sound. It was on Giants post game on NBC Sports Bay Area. Again, I had it on in the background. He was talking about it, and I heard something about pitch count or whatnot. So my guys will effort that because I do think he wants to throw more. But again, this is uncharted territory for the young man. Again, his next start, if he goes 5 or 6 innings,
no doubt,
he's going to eclipse his career highs in innings pitched in a season. And we're not even in July yet.
No,
we
but
got
that's
July,
not
August,
on Jordan
September.
Hicks.
That's not on Jordan Hicks.
To me, that's on when you assemble a staff, you need to bake into the equation that a guy is going to eclipse his innings.
But part of the problem is Blake Snell doesn't show up.
Well, no doubt.
Part of the problem is you're relying on Robbie Ray. Part of the problem is you thought Alex Cobb will be pitching at this point.
No doubt.
You thought Keaton Wynn would not have a stint on the IL. You also thought Kyle Harrison wouldn't twist his ankle in the weight room. So it's not all on Jordan Hicks. We got to have, like, I think Jordan Hicks, and Fleming touched on it last week with this. Dave Fleming, I asked Dave Fleming about it last week. There are conversations on how to limit the workload. I can see Jordan Hicks, and I've been saying this for the last month and a half now, looking at his innings pitch and looking at his career high, he hasn't pitched this many innings since his rookie year. All right?
I understand that. But
So when I'm looking at Jordan Hicks, I'm saying, I'm getting 5 now. In my head, he's going to be in the bullpen by August, and he's going to be a right arm coming out that bullpen, and that'd be a secret weapon for the Giants because I think Blake Snell will get back and he'll start rolling. Robbie Ray, I know I'm putting too much pressure on him, but I think Robbie Ray is a guy who could maybe give you 5 or 6 a start. So I'm not going to freak out about Jordan Hicks only going 5 last night.
All I'm saying is, Bonte, like, no one's freaking out. What I'm saying is like in a game where you're literally, where you go 5 innings and haven't given up a run, and it feels fairly stressful.
90 degrees out there.
What?
90 degrees out there. We'll ask Elliot Ramos at 920 how hot it was out there. That jersey was wet. All right, that thing was soaked. It was like a Super Soaker 5000. Just
you can't give me 20 more pitches, 15 more pitches. I mean,
in that heat, and you're facing the middle of an order. The lineup is flipping around.
This is where modern baseball. Like, I understand theoretically on pitch counts. What I'm saying is when you're working out of the windup and you're not in the stretch in every single inning, like it would be different if he was at 85 pitches through 3 and he's struggling to get through them. To me, I just wanted to see him go back out there.
85 pitches in that weather may be different than 85 pitches in 60-degree weather. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's humid. It's hot. You see the jersey.
There are 12-year-olds that will be playing this week.
We're back to Little League. Oh, God.
Am I wrong?
This guy pitches 5 innings. He's about to eclipse a career high.
84 pitches.
He gave 87 pitches. 87 pitches. That's his limit. What do you expect from the guy? You got your 5. I got your 5. What do you guys expect?
How many of those are breaking balls? How many of those are putting stress on the elbow? So like that. This is where the raw pitch limit, I will never agree to it because to me, there's so many other factors, and that's where I want to have follow-up. You can't just tell me he's at his pitch limit. It's like, well, wait a minute.
He walked 4 guys. He allowed 8 base runners yesterday, Shasky, in 5 innings.
And he had the bases loaded in one of those innings, so I don't think every single one of those innings was stressed.
But there's high-stress innings, though. You walk 4 guys.
You're right.
No, I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to make the argument. You're nitpicking about Jordan Hicks.
No, I'm not nitpicking.
Crazy.
I'm saying on
this guy's never done this before.
When you use 9 bullpen guys, I'm asking the next day's starter unfairly. I admit this on the front end. I need you to go a little farther. And I'll worry about resting you down the line in a day where they haven't given up a run. And I know that my bullpen's taxed. After a weekend where I taxed my bullpen, that is the essence of managing a staff.
I hear you. But I'm also trying to win a baseball game. I'm doing what I got to do to win a baseball game. And Bob Melvin felt like, or whoever it was, Farhan Zaidi, that Randy Rodriguez was best suited to come into the 6th inning. Now, unfortunately, he gave up the 2-run jack. It sucks. But in that 5th inning, let's just go through the 5th inning again. All right, he gets a grounder. He walks a guy. He gives up a single. And then obviously, Bellinger hits the sac fly. You thought it was a sac fly, and you get the double play. That's a high-stress inning there in the bottom of the 5th inning.
I don't know, man. I thought he was ready to go. The one thing you don't want to do is take out a guy who hasn't given up a run. The other dugout's going to say, we just want to see someone different. That's just the way I view it. And I think one more inning to at least start the inning off was not some crazy thing in a tight game. Especially given that, again, you used 9 relievers the day before.
Even after you threw 18 pitches in that 5th inning? In that heat?
18 pitches? 18 is 18? That's a good inning.
It's not bad.
That's a good inning. If it was 28 or 30, I would agree with you.
18 pitchings? You're pitching from the line.
Before they even started that inning, they were complaining about how many pitches he's on. I'm like, guys, he's at 71 to start the inning. What are we talking about?
It's the middle of June. I'm not trying to push this guy. He's never done this before. It's the middle of freaking June. I'm trying to have this guy last through September.
Arms are chopping like. Yeah, but I never think it's one inning. It's the totality of the workload, and you worry about giving him rest down the line in the middle of the game. Let's try to win the game.
Well, they ended up winning the game, 7-6.
Oh, it was a zigzag.
They ended up winning the game, 7-6. So you got Logan Webb today, and it's going to be hot again, and it's going to be humid, and it's a little different when it's Tim Lincecum for all those years couldn't pitch in the humidity. I remember out there in D.C. for a 3-game series out in 4th of July. It was hot and humid, and poor Timmy couldn't even get out the damn 4th inning. Was struggling, and I remember the broadcast. I was listening on the radio, and they were just like, Timmy in the heat. It's not a good combination. Okay,
but let's also remember that Timmy averaged 117 pitches.
I hear you, but the heat is different, man. 87 pitches in that heat, that humidity. Look at the jersey.
That's fine. But we're acting like the Cubs don't go through that, or all the other teams in baseball don't go through that. The
Giants don't go through that, though. The Giants don't go through that. I'm not going to nitpick
I'm not taking my starter out of the game when he hasn't given up a run and he's at 85 pitches.
Even after high stress, the way I operate. You got a high stress inning in the 5th inning?
It wasn't high stress. High stress is giving up runs.
They barely got out the inning. Yaz had to make a great throw at home plate. Yaz had to make a great throw.
All right, Bonte, you're right.
I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to have a conversation.
Well, but I'm telling you what my baseball principles are. And my baseball principles,
and I disagree with that principle.
Okay, then you're going to be yanking starters and you're going to have no bullpen.
No. I'm not about yanking. I'm the guy who's been yelling about going 6 innings, saving the pin, not going to the pin. But I actually understand it from last night's point of view. When you watch the game and you look at what's going on, and Jordan Hicks is a diabetic. The guy's been sick every other damn start. He's sick every damn start. The jerseys... It looked like the jersey weighed more than his ass, and he's sitting out there struggling on the mound looking weak. He got pulled after 5. We live another day. I'm just hoping the guy can make it through July. He's never pitched this. He's never been in this situation. We don't know what we're going to get from Jordan Hicks, so I'm just praying that we 5 and no runs. Thank the heavens. I'm waiting for the guy's arm to fall off because he's never done this before. Think about it.
No, I'm not waiting for his arm to fall. He's a professional. He's ready to go. If the guy can't throw 100 pitches, I mean, what are we doing here, right? I'll worry about finding spots where he doesn't have to start down the line, like they did with Kyle Harrison. You could find a way to manipulate your rotation and get a 6-man rotation or whatever it is.
You do realize that through 2018 and 2023, he started 8 games in his career.
What I signed him to be a starter. What does that have to do with what I've forecasted him to do? On a day when I give you the ball, I'm hoping that you can get me through 6. On this day, the day before when I've used 9 relievers.
The guy threw 65 innings. The guy threw 65 innings last season. He's already up to 76, which is 1 inning short of his career high, which was back in 2018. 2019, he threw 28 innings. 2020 didn't pitch. 2021, he threw 10. 2022, he threw 61. 2023, he threw 20. 2023, he combined for the 65 innings because he got traded to Toronto. He's never done this before. This is uncharted territory for the young man. His heart's probably feeling heavy right now. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would love for him to go 6. I would love for him to go 6 innings, but it's today's baseball, I guess. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to nitpick about last night because watching the game, I'm thinking, boy, this guy, I don't know if he could go one more. That's what I thought. And I'm always watching pitch counts because I love a guy to go 6 or 7. I'm old school when it comes to baseball. I hate this 5 and 9 stuff. They brought in
Randy Rodriguez, he's been taxed heavily over the last week, just straight up, actually the last month since he's come up, and he immediately gave up the lead. Right, and then it's not even on Randy Rodriguez at that point. Like I need my starters again. I'm using 3/5 of my rotation right now with random spot starters, and I'm praying that Keaton Winn can get out of the second inning right now. So I'm gonna demand a little more from Jordan Hicks.
We got the Hicks down. Let's hear from Hicks on pitching in the brutal conditions yesterday. Brutal conditions.
I didn't really notice it. There was one slider I hung, and I thought I might not see that ball again, but I just think he just missed it. Got in the air, but overall, I just feel like my sinker was working well today, and splitter off that was pretty nice. Slider got going second half of the game.
Velocity this season and moving forward.
I think I might have said it a few times throughout the year. Like my last year in the minor leagues, I got a scouting report from another team, and they were like anywhere from 89 to 99. It's not that I'm trying to embrace it, but when I'm going more innings, like there's, especially when you have both, there's different situations where everything a 98 might play or a 92 might play. So I wouldn't say expect, just don't know what to expect. I thought I was throwing it firm in that bullpen today, pregame. But it's just an indoor bullpen, and it was loud. So in my head, I was like, all right, I got 96 today, and what came out was like 93, 94. So you could ask me at the beginning of the day, and I probably couldn't tell you.
What do you make out of that?
Well, he's obviously tapered back how hard he's throwing. When he was a bullpen guy, he would throw 101, 102. He has like 3 of the fastest pitches in baseball recorded history in terms of velocity. Yeah. And when I watch him start, it feels like he's holding back a little, which is a good thing because he's trying to pace himself. And so I just look at like how hard he's throwing in terms of max effort or non-max effort, and I thought he could go a little longer.
Here's what Bob Melvin said about the inconsistent strike zone yesterday that everybody was crying about.
It's a little hard, but you know what? Umpiring's not an easy job, and both sides have to deal with it. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't, but you have to put that away and still look for a good pitch to hit. And if it's not there, try to get on base, especially when you're behind like that. You get a couple guys on base, and one big swing, and we end up winning the game.
I think for me, whether it's the bullpen, the starters, falling behind in counts, like that has been the bugaboo. And we could argue about the robot umps or the human umps that are making bad decisions on what a strike is, what is. These guys are all over the place. They're all over the place, and they're not attacking because they're being used a lot. And so I look at the bullpen as a whole right now, and you had to give the Rogers brothers the day off because you used them all weekend, right? And I think that maybe you go to one of the Rogers brothers later on in that game, in that situation, but because you used 9 guys the day before, and I believe like 6 the day before that.
They've used the bullpen all weekend.
You're just up against it.
That's why I think Jordan Hicks will be great in his bullpen. That's going to be a shot in the arm for them at some point this season. I don't see him starting 30 games for this team. I'd be shocked if he did. He's at 15 starts so far this season. I know he signed here to be a starter. I would be a little surprised if he had 30 starts.
Oh, they're going to. Yeah, I don't think they're going to start him 30 times. He's going to be like in the 20 to 23 range.
And that's fine. He goes to the bullpen as a right arm. You help out the Rogers brothers. You help out Duvall. Maybe you're a 6th inning guy. Maybe you're a 7th inning guy. Maybe you could eat up 2 innings at some point later in the season. So I see what the Giants are doing. You gotta manage this workload, man, because again, you got to protect the player from himself. I'm sure if he went out there for the 6th inning, he would have been juiced. He would have been fine. Bob Melvin probably would have been fine with it. But it's a long-term play in a long season. We're mid-June, Chasky. Mid-June.
Yeah, but you can go out there and have a 4-pitch inning. You could go out there and walk the first guy and yank him out. Like that's just the way I view it.
Didn't look like he was going to have a 4-pitch inning with the way he throws.
Well,
like,
you just never know. You never know. That's part of baseball.
And then he can have a 20-pitch inning. He can give up a 5 spot.
But you can yank him before that. You can yank him on the very first batter.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden you're like, damn, why do you even start? Now the leadoff hitters are coming in. Now the leadoff hitters on. And then the bullpen's coming in. So I hear that, but I don't know.